Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on out there? What's up? What's up? I see we got Jason the Tiger Osborne up in the chat here, dropping those FAs as he rolls on in. So everybody's coming on in here. Definitely smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You guys know what to do. Yo. Hopefully everybody's having a great week. We are definitely past hump day. Yeah. So without any further ado, let's kind of dive into today's topics, right? Bam. So of course, always taking a look at that trading view every so often here. Not doing it so much because I've been working too much. So like a lot of the market movements, I'm not paying attention to day to day. Of course, I've never proclaimed myself to be a day trader or a swing trader. I've just got to kicks back and looks at the market and goes, okay, you know. So S&P 500 moving sideways as normal. NASDAQ 100 moving sideways. I mean, it's having a pullback about a quarter of a percent. For a bigger market like that the NASDAQ 100 is, that's really not a whole lot. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up just, minor amounts. Japan market's pulling back. The FTSE 100 is pulling back, and the DAX is, the FTSE is up, but it's been down overall. Is this how I meant to say that? But it's been down overall. So seeing that it might have found a ground floor, maybe, doubt it. And then the DAX is still on its pullback. Normal stocks here, Apple is taking a bath. They're down almost 3%. Amazon's up almost 2%. Alphabet, Meta platform, Meta Platforms is down a little bit. Alphabet's up a little bit. Tesla's kind of holding the ground floor, I believe, about where they're at. They'll have days where they're pulling back, and then they kind of gain ground a little bit, just pull back the very next day. So I think that they're just kind of more trading sideways on with Tesla. Microsoft, it being a big company as it is, being pulled back almost a full percent. I think that's just like small minor lows as they're waiting for a new product to come out. They probably have something getting cooked up on the background there that will end up bolstering some good stock movements in this. But not saying that I would invest in any one of these companies at this point. Let's see. Crypto, of course. That Busy Bitcoin coming up just a little bit here. We're over $26,000 per that sweet Busy Bitcoin. Ethereum's up a little bit. Tether kind of trading out at $1 like it's supposed to be doing. Binance up a little bit, but I think that's still, they have a lot more potential of going down. They've got more, I believe Binance has more issues going on in the background that's going to negatively impact not only Binance, but their coin too. So beware, XRP, surprisingly, is trading at 50 cents. So I know a bunch of people who bought in at like 20 cents, 10 cents. Y'all are up. Cool. You're awesome. I'd take that as a win and, trade out of it. But, everybody thinks it's going to hit $5, and I'm going to be like, good luck on that one. What up, Sarth? What up, what up, what up? Dude. Man, isn't it way past your bedtime? Thank you for being here and showing some love, my dude. Thank you, thank you. But, it's like, go over into the futures market. Gold having a all right day, I guess. Up, nominally. I mean, Bitcoin seems to be up a little bit more. Bitcoin's up 0.38%. where, you know, the gold futures market. Now, granted, this is the futures market. This is the gambling market. I understand. If you want to get a good understanding of that, you know, you'd go right to here, and you're basically looking at about a 20% rise over on the 24-hour period. Over the 7-day, you know, it's up almost 3.25%. So I mean, it's not, gold's not doing bad at all. It's not doing bad at all. But Bitcoin has been on a slump itself too, guys. We all know that. But like I keep saying, you know, it's like there'll be a point where you'll start seeing a divergence and it'll start trending in the other direction. So we've already fallen off of our cliff. You can kind of consider this almost a dead cat bounce. I would consider it more of a dead cat bounce if it happened more immediate. But definitely had a second peak. It came down. We struck a little bit of a lower low. And started, I mean, if you're not counting wicks, right? If we're not just counting just the wicks. So we've put a lower low overall. And could this mean that we are now in our true reversal? Well, according to some of my charting, basically yesterday would have been a good arbitrage day to buy in at any level from yesterday. So if you guys DCA'd in yesterday, as long as you didn't DCA at the top of the wick and FOMO into it, and you stayed true to what you were thinking, you're like, I'm just going to DCA like I always do. If you did that, you probably did pretty good, and your position is actually up. Now, does this mean that we're going to immediately roll over? At this point, it's hard to say. I'm watching the MA 200-day moving average kind of flattening out. I would like to see the moving averages here kind of band up and tighten up a little bit more. That usually will tell me that we're building up momentum in the other direction. But it is being a little on the lazier side. And even being a little slow to that is not always a bad option either. As we all know, violent moves usually come with violent pullbacks. So, I mean, it is what it is, right, guys? What up, Goblin Dude? Yo, speaking of slumps, check out Rumstock. That's that's Rumble. Okay, I haven't even checked that out in a hot minute. I could do that. I wonder if they've got a ticker on here. Well, let's see here. I don't know if they've got a ticker for this on here. Hey, they do. Look at that. Damn, it's rolling over right now. Yeah, this one I would be holding off on Rumble. Rumble looks like the floor just dropped out on it. Ouch. Like, your selling opportunity was basically yesterday. At the beginning of the sell-off here. So, if you guys missed your sell-off position, you're going to be holding on for this thing to try to reverse. We've had 3 consecutive days in a downward trend. Looks like it has way more momentum. They've already had their death cross. I mean, their death cross happened back on what is that, June 16th. That's when they had their death cross. That's where the 200-day moving average drops below. You want to see a golden cross where the 200-day moving average moves above everything else. So this thing has been on a downward trajectory. God, they started off here on the June 12th. That's where they kind of like something happened, and they've had heavy sell-off pressure, and have had a what 4 rallies to try to reverse this, and were unsuccessful at any point in time. So that means if I had to take a guess of what I'm seeing here, now to see this little run up here is a little promising, but at the same time, that run up was like just an immediate rollover. I would almost sit there and say that this has more momentum on the downside. I think there are more people trying to get out of rumble positions right now. So with this one would be a hold off if you believe in the rumble product. I would be holding off and waiting for confirmation of an actual bottom. You know, some people will be like, oh, this is coupon territory. To a point it is. If you're going to sit there and just dollar cost average, this is a perfect market. You're going to buy in incrementally on the way down and then incrementally on the way up. It's going to average itself off. But if you're looking for a good position to just kind of drop into, I think that position as of right now is not there. Your buy-in position would have been on August 22nd, and you would have ended up selling off on September 1st to, you know, basically realize your gains, and knowing that those are short-term gains which have higher taxing events on there. So that's some of the reasons why I don't like swing trading or day trading. But that would have been a position that, you know, with the way that this market for Rumble has been looking, if I were to look at this chart, even with this little run up, it would have been hard to foresee the run up. I don't like to take short-term positions. I like to take longer-term positions. And I don't think that this has a ground floor quite yet. I think that, you know, you could potentially come down to, you know, the $5.75 range, $6 range is very foreseeable unless this thing finally just kind of unless this little run up here stop the downward trend, and then it'll oscillate here. If this thing starts oscillating, which that's going to take a longer time frame, this is on the daily. You're going to have to see a 7 to a 14-day chart to see if you have confirmation of oscillation. And then at that point, you can either start trading the chop, or you can start timing your buy-in positions on a ground floor, which would also signal that it is basically found its support line, right? And that's what you're really looking for before you really commit to an absolute buy-in. Unless you're just gonna, you know, like for me, it doesn't matter where the price of Bitcoin is. I'm gonna dollar cost average no matter what. So I mean, that's just kind of, you got to figure out what your plan is and how you're going to get in and out of your positions. But that's not what this show is all about. I just kind of go over this stuff because I do understand the charts. I've studied a lot of this stuff for a long time. So I mean, it's like sometimes I could sit there and give you guys some of that knowledge too. So moving right along now. Meteor Lake with LPDDR5X memory in the wild. That actually looks pretty dope, guys. I don't know about you, but to sit there and see, you know, LPDDR5X memory modules right on the silicon. The closer you can get your RAM to the die set, the faster that access point is. Your RAM speed is directly affected by the length of the wires in the board itself. So the closer you can sit this stuff to it, the faster theoretically everything's going to be. Now this is going to be like small short-term stuff because it's not going to be like packed in there with like system RAM, right? So this is just going to be stuff to help out the chip itself. Now, my curiosity would be, could this help it out mining? Offloading some of this with some faster access memory. That would be an interesting one. Is there an efficiency trade-off for having closer memory for like mining Monero? Hey Goblin, I mean it's not bad to have like Rumble. I mean at least Rumble is offering a product, and they don't need to have some scammy little poop token to back them up, because they still have a usable, functioning product that people can access. So to me, that has more value than other areas. So at least there, I put them into the same category as YouTube and Twitter. So if YouTube and Twitter has value, then theoretically Rumble should have value too. What is up, Wheeling Crypto? What's up, my dude? What's up? Greetings and salutations. So it's pretty cool to see this kind of a chipset on there. I would be real, like I said, I'd be interested to see if there could be efficiency gains for Monero mining, and could this make it a contender to compete with AMD? Because as we all know, AMD is just dominated on Monero. It's like you have an Intel stuff. It's like, yeah, just there's nothing for Intel CPU mining in any way, shape, or form. Well, I mean, you can still mine with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, but overall, it's just not worth it for the amount of wattage to hash rate. It's not a very efficient chip. So I'm wondering if this would actually help out with that. So once it starts coming out, I know somebody in Intel is going to test this out on mining. It will eventually happen. Every one of these companies all have mining divisions, so it's not like they don't dedicate a little bit of resource to the mining community. So don't think anything otherwise. I have confirmation from people. I know people. So there's going to be a point where it's going to get tested on some mining, and the numbers will come out. And as soon as I can get my hands on the numbers, I'll share it with you guys. For sure. So according to the Intel website article, the company is actively exploring the possibilities of integrating LPDDR5X memory from Samsung directly into the processor package. As indicated by the memory label, the integrated memory would boast 16 gigabytes of with 7,500 mega transfers per second. That is crazy. Delivering a potential bandwidth up to 120 gigabytes per second. Now, that is going to be a lot slower than some of the stuff that like AMD uses, right? With the specialized VRAM that just gets lightning speed. So we're gonna see a trade-off with that, but just to have something a little bit closer to the die set is gonna make a difference. And having 120 gigabytes per second that close to the chipset, guys, it should have some good potentials. Gaming wise, or gaming streaming, it should be able to handle that without an issue. I just want to see the mining software be able to integrate that, potentially make it a competition to AMD. This way we don't all have to have AMD stuff for exclusive mining, because that's the most efficient hardware out there. I mean, it's not like it's expensive hardware at the same time, so thank God. But I'd like to see some, diversity in the mining market. It shouldn't be all hot and heavy on AMD, where AMD's like, oh, we got you guys. And this is actually I thought was an interesting turn of events. So on launch day, Galax is selling the RTX 4070 for, whatever, 999. I think this was in New Zealand. So in the New Zealand currency, they were selling it for just underneath $1,000, their currency, which is cheaper than the RX 7800 XT. That is crazy. So the 7800 XT is going for over $1,000, their local currency, guys, versus Nvidia is now getting sold cheaper than AMD. What a turn of events. Man, I wish I had that meme. What up, Big Rome? What's up? So interesting. If this is happening there, it's gonna trickle out around everywhere else. Nobody wants the 4070, period. 4070 is a junk card. It is not offering any value for the price tag it's sitting at. And people realize this, and on top of that, the mining market's lackluster. Most people have got good enough GPUs, otherwise they would have already purchased it. And with the way that things are going, AMD offers a better platform for the first time over Nvidia. As long as you're not looking for ray tracing and you don't care about that, because you've got, like everybody else, I don't know about you, but I'm not made of $1 million. I have a single 1440p. It's like one step above 1080p. Yeah, I'm balling over here, right? And I got two 1080p monitors to my left and right. Most people, let's be real, 1080p monitors as big as you can get, right? Let's just be real. It's most gamers out there. So do you need the ray tracing? Probably not. Are you going to be seeing you're going to get a better gaming performance if you have ray tracing? If you don't have the monitor to be able to push the pixel density, to really push the sharpness and the clarity that the GPU is trying to offer you, probably not. You're going to want to sit there and have, ultra high definition screens, as much pixel density as possible. You don't have to have 4K, but, it's like 1440p. That, it's like even that much of a step up, I can tell the difference. Oh God, Tech Man, you are hilarious. Like, I love my 1080p monitors. Then at the same time, if you got 1080p monitors, you don't need to go after ray tracing. And that makes, for the first time, it's like, it used to be, it's like you would grab a AMD because you couldn't afford an Nvidia, and at least it worked. Now, it's like a 7800 XT is actually in competition with a 4080. It's like, holy cow. You know, it's like I don't care about the 4090. I mean, it's like to me that's the Titan class. That's like that wasn't something that was for the gamers to begin with, and that got rebranded and sold to gamers as this is the top tier. No, you do not gain enough for the price tag on there. The 3080 Ti still seems to be the nice sweet spot. So, and even that, I have a 3080 Ti in here. How is Nvidia going to sit there and entice me, the gamer, to give up my 3080 Ti for the next year, the next year's stuff? No, I'll skip out on the 40 class here, and I'll wait for the 50 class, because the 50 class is going to be enough of a potentially, let's put that in the quotes here, potentially enough of a generational uptick that it would make a difference to upgrade into that tier. What up, DJ Mines? It's like they make more money on that. Yeah. So I mean, they're going to be focusing in, and if you haven't been watching a lot of Jensen's keynote speeches, you can see that Jensen himself is really starting to focus in on AI development, into server, cloud computing. He is talking less and less and less about the gaming community that, he so loves, that he was defending years ago. It seems like, because the mining craze isn't there, and the GPUs aren't just flying off the shelves. They're now focusing in on AI development. And they're going to give the gamers and they think that that's going to keep the gaming community happy, keep the mining community happy. Well, if there's not a huge demand in the mining community, you're going to see a huge drop off on sales. So that means that GPUs really need to be marketed to miners, which means that they need to have that means that the gamers aren't as big of a market for the GPUs as Nvidia, tries to claim. That's some of the reasons why Nvidia got in trouble a few years ago for misrepresenting how much of their income was coming off of GPU mining. So you have that relationship with the GPU market also, guys. So with the mining market pulling back, Nvidia's they're redirecting their focus on what's going to make them a bunch of money, guys. And things that are going to make them a bunch of money is stuff like this, guys. Kind of segueing this stuff right on in, right? Iris Energy buys 248 Nvidia GPUs worth $10 million for generative AI. And then they bought a bunch of ASICs to mine that bizzity Bitcoin. So Iris Energy, is deploying all this. They're deploying 248 state-of-the-art NVIDIA H100 server-grade GPUs at $10 million worth, as it looks to explore the opportunities in generative artificial intelligence, in addition to its core business focused on Bitcoin mining, guys. So Iris Energy has been a known Bitcoin miner, but they're diversifying a little bit here and getting into the AI development also, guys. And they're not just grabbing regular GPUs, so they're not taking it from any of the gamers, but they're buying the GPUs that are directly for AI development on this stuff, which will be really interesting to see if it's worth it for Iris Energy to actually get involved with the AI development here, because that they're basically going to be setting this stuff up so that other companies can pay them a fee in order to be able to use their computes. So somebody like my dude over here, Gundy, will be able to work on that stuff. He's like, ever seen H100s crammed into a box? Never have. I'd love to see that. Next time you have a chance, show me. Okay, babe. Like AI deployment ramping up to full tilt rate, meow. I bet. I absolutely bet. They make more money on that AI for sure. Like 4K, 480 hertz melts my eyeballs. I bet, my dude. They can make an ASIC for Monero. Do you think they can make an ASIC for Ravencoin next? Absolutely, bro. It's a matter of, is it profitable enough? If it's profitable enough, they will make it. I have been saying this for years. If the developers give up on the idea of making it FPGA resistant, if an FPGA gets up onto the network, they now have the way to be able to set the chips up for efficiencies. So think of an FPGA. I mean, if you guys don't know, field programmable gate array, which means that it's a reprogrammable chip that has multiple pathways into it to creating a specific task, right? This is the architecture. With a chip, an FPGA chip, I can make the architecture for the ASIC chip needed for mining. And an ASIC chip, you can just densify it down. So you don't need this big old whopping huge die from an FPGA, because you've got the architecture down to a small little spot. So kind of have an idea that if they don't get rid of FPGAs off the network, all it takes is one ASIC manufacturer being financially incentivized to create the ASIC needed for mining. They thought that nobody would want to make an ASIC for Ethereum. And then, bam, Bitmain comes out with the E3 Antminer, which was a bunch of fake GPUs, all in array. Bam. And all the way up until now, where, it's like Ethereum right towards the end, they had FPGAs on Ethereum. There's FPGAs on Ethereum Classic. So, I mean, once you see all this stuff, I was questioning it with Monero a while back, because like the profitability went right through the toilet with CPU mining. Even with the best CPUs, you'd have to have damn near free power. And it's like we all realize that, Monero, a lot of it's hacker software that has people mining on their computers without them even knowing about it. So you get a lot of that, the malicious malware, and unfortunately, we don't see any of the hash rate coming off right now. It's just exponentially have been growing to the point where it's not worth mining from the home user at home with Monero. If you could, not saying that you can't do it, but if you're trying to use some of the crypto you're bringing in to pay for, offset its own electric bill, well, Monero is not going to be one of them. That is going to be a net negative overall. So, and that's where I would like to see Intel CPUs get up on board with this and be able to mine too, because it would give a different venue for the miner to be able to hit, maybe potentially go on to a different notch that the AMD CPUs are not going after. And maybe there could be a little bit more successful if the FPGAs that are on Monero and the ASICs that are on Monero are not hitting. And that would be the best case scenario. That would be like how Ethereum was, where the ASICs were never in competition with the GPUs. The ASICs were never hit the same nonce that the GPUs were hitting. They weren't efficient enough to compete with the GPUs on those nonces. Same thing turned around. The GPUs couldn't hit the other nonces efficiently. So there was that nice cohesive ecosystem of ASICs, FPGAs, and GPUs until, you know, Ethereum people decided to go, oh, we're going to change everything now. Thank you. Have a good day. You know, and that basically kind of leaves us at the landscape that we have now, where, you know, now the most profitable coins that are out there are now getting development for ASIC. And where's Monero? Monero was always, we will be ASIC resistant forever. I don't see nothing in the works for forking the algorithm in any way, shape, or form right now. I understand it also takes a lot of work in order to fork the whole network and get off to that algorithm and create a whole new setup on that. I understand. I hope that they're working on that right now, especially in light with ASICs coming out. Or are they just going to give in? Are they going to be, you know what, we're going to take the most effective, efficient hardware out there to secure the network indefinitely? And that would also get rid of a lot of the malicious malware, people being incentivized to making the Monero, you know, illegal Monero miners. So it's kind of one of those dual-edged swords of, you know, it's like, do you want to root for Monero to just go full-blown ASIC and knowing that you'll never be able to participate in the market again? Or is Monero going to fork it and everybody will have a chance to have a really good, you know, all the core people that actually actively mine will have a chance to actually get some real good gains before all the malicious miners get updated too? Because that's not going to happen right away. Every time Monero has forked historically in the past, at least with me, my earnings for at least 2 to 3 weeks were almost triple my earnings. Amazing. I know. Absolutely amazing. They have triple your payouts. Unfortunately, that is not what Bitcoin is really experiencing. So actual Bitcoin mining, guys, you like that 3x gains? You ain't seeing it here. Bitcoin revenues per terahash near record lows as hash rate soars. As we start seeing the hash rate and the difficulty going up, we're seeing less output, because it's got to be basically, unless you're solo mining and you got some serious hash rate to be able to solo mine and be competitive in that market, you know, you're going to be mining with the bigger pools, which, you know, it's like when that pool hits a payout, they've got to split it up between all the miners that participated. And there are more miners participating now than there used to be. So, yes, this is actually not a really great aspect to be at, considering that we have so much downward sell pressure on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going, has been down in price, which puts a lot of negative pressure onto the miners themselves, right? Because you got to think about this. The miners have, it's like over 400 million in Bitcoin. So, I mean, if if all the big mining facilities, collectively have around 400 million Bitcoin, and they've been basically pulling loans to pay for everything. They're using and they're basically taking from the shareholders, so lessening the values of the shares in order to pay for everything too. And a lot of that stuff's going to start drying up. That's a big ask on a lot of these companies. Let's see here. Where did it go? So, yeah. So they're talking about 400. And here we go. It was like a little bit lower in an article. 440 million. Through they've raised through stock sales. Here we go. To avoid selling the 900 million Bitcoin they're hoarding, the miners are relying on debt and diluting shareholders. Now those lifelines are drying up. Soon their only option is dumping on the market. Dun dun dun. This is a real issue. If the miners start releasing now, remember guys, the only way that more people get their hands on the Bitcoin is if the miners start selling it off. So this is a dual-edged sword. The miners have been hoarding on to a $900 million war chest. Do you want them to keep that? Or do you want them to sell it off so more people can get involved with Bitcoin? There's more Bitcoin in circulation. Otherwise, some of these Bitcoin mining facilities, they're going to be the new, BlackRock and Vanguards, of the world. It's being some of the richest companies in the world. If Bitcoin goes to $1 million per coin, these companies will be sitting on beyond easy street. Like if you're gonna run 1080p, at least get a decent monitor with low refresh, 1 millisecond or bust. Gotta be careful with that. Some of that stuff's even a lie. Gotta do research on that, on those monitors. So this is gonna be if this is actually a true thing of, me and Mikkel were having issues trying to get investors. And I understand me and Mikkel we were startups and stuff like that. It happens, but it just means that eventually other companies are going to have an issue. I have other friends that have big mining facilities. They're still trying to get some more funding. So yeah, there's going to be interesting times. I for sure. So guys, just kind of don't be relying 100% on the Bitcoin's price stability. Because if these miners start releasing the 900 million Bitcoin that they're hoarding right now, Bitcoin can easily get it to crash down to about 12,000. Easy guys. With that much Bitcoin. Bury your Bitcoin in the backyard. Yeah. It will be interesting. Let's see here. And I'm waiting for the greeny people to have a field day with this one. Stronghold requests permissions to burn tires for crypto mining in Pennsylvania. They don't want to give them coal? They'll burn some tires then. That was actually kind of funny. He's like, the Clean Air Council, we were calling on state regulators and the DEP with Earth Justice, Penn Future to deny permitting requests from Stronghold Digital Mining to burn tires as fuel for its Bitcoin mining operations. So we've already got the greenies already kind of coming in on this. I'd love to see how this is actually going to play out. They're going to have a freaking field day over it. They're going to burn what? Yeah. It's like you guys thought that burning coal was bad. Have you guys tried tire? I mean, look at the Middle East. They've got the largest tire fire in the world going that they've never been able to put out, and they're just letting it burn because there's really nothing they can do about it. Heck yeah, Jason, not your keys, not your crypto, 100%. So, yeah, but I figured I'd give a little laugh one on that one before I get up out of here. It's like I burned a few tires in my teenage years at Bonnie fire parties. Stuff stinks bad, but boy, do they burn. Oh, yeah. It's all that oil and stuff and carcinogens getting released. Yeah. And if any of you guys, I had to add this one in just because I laughed when I saw this. If any of you guys have followed BitBoy either on YouTube or on Twitter, he's a poop corner that has shilled some of the worst things ever, like FTX and other scammy little things. The guy is just a sleazeball overall, a drug addict that people have blindly followed. Has been fired from being the character he created, BitBoy. The crypto brand will no longer include YouTuber Ben Armstrong. Bye-bye. Poopcoin Schiller is gone. So, furthermore, during the there was like a lawsuit that there were claims that Armstrong threatened the plaintiff's lawyer, even blew off a federal judge orders to show up in court. The court was put on hold in June. So this guy's just snowballing himself and his career for no real reason, other than he's just making really bad decisions here. But yeah, I mean, I met the guy a long time ago, and he wasn't a bad guy. I mean, whenever I met him, he was cool and everything, but he was not over the top the way he is now. Definitely, fame has been his destruction of who he is. Unfortunately, what's up, John Germain? What up? What up? And then one thing before I get up out of here, Windows tool targeted by hackers to deploy crypto mining malware. Software's installers are mainly used for 3D modeling and graphics design, with a French being the most frequent language used in the malware campaign. Hackers have been using a Windows tool to drop cryptocurrency mining malware since November 2021. According to its analysis from Cisco Talos Intelligence, the attacker exploits Windows Advanced Installers, an application to helps developers package other software installers such as Adobe Illustrator to execute malicious scripts on infected machines. In other words, just be careful what you guys are downloading. Not everything is what it is. Make sure you are from a trusted party that it's from somebody that you know, not just, it's like if it's not pushing the update from internal on your own computer, and you have to go somewhere to find this update, make sure you're getting it from a reputable source you ain't got to worry about. It's what I always try telling people, kind of stay frosty out there. Uh, the attacks have predominantly affected users in France and Switzerland. A few infections in other countries, including a few people from the United States, Canada, Algeria, Sweden, Germany, Tunisia, Madagascar, Singapore, and Vietnam. The post notes based on DNS request, data sent to the attacker command and control host. So you know they're mining Monero for sure. Trying to get that free power, right? It's basically what they're trying to get at this point in time. Everybody's trying to figure out how can I be the most efficient. Well, the only way you can be really efficient with bad hardware is have free power. Unfortunately, there are people out there that will go out down that route and do so. I do know how to make some of the scripts for it, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I did something like that. Be like, that's just bogus as all get out. But there are people, as they say, there are people in low places, right? There's always somebody out there that's got less morals left in themselves and are willing to do some shady stuff. So be careful what you're downloading, whether it's like Adobe. Make sure that it's coming directly from Adobe. Don't be getting it from like a random site. Oh, you'll get this for free. You'll find out it's not really free when it's mining Monero. Damn black hat hackers. Script kiddies wearing black hats. No, some of these guys are not script kiddies. That I would consider myself more of a script kiddie than I would be actual hackers. I mean, unless these people are grabbing it from somebody else and just kind of implementing it themselves, then they can be considered a script kiddie. But if they're actually making the software themselves, I know how to do it, but it's not. How can I put it? Like I had to find an area where it actually existed, and then I was able to see it, and I'm like, oh, because somebody else did it. So it's just a matter of, kind of understanding how they compiled everything, and then putting in your address and figuring out how to get somebody else to click on it. That's all it took, is to just figure out how somebody to click on it. There's other ones out there that as soon as you go onto a website, it'll start mining in the background immediately. Those ones you got to be careful about. They won't even let you know that your computer's mining, and all of a sudden, bam! You'll hear all your fans and your computer just ramp up when you're on a particular website, and you're like, God, why is my fans always, man? It must be a really hardcore graphics or something. No, you're probably mining Monero. What up, Crypto Badell, F8 late night live show? Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, Pegasus and Pegasus too. Yeah. That's just a few of them. There are more than that out there. But we are at that 1 hour mark. Do you guys got any comments or questions before I get up out of here? Otherwise, I'm going to head up out of here because I want to eat some food. There's like food over there getting cold, and I'd like to eat some of it before it gets too cold. Because I'm sure it's delicious. If you don't have any other comments or questions, certainly drop some FAs in the Chizity chat, guys. Yo. Definitely put some FAs in the Chizity chat. Jason's like, how are the Chunkins? I've gotten over 4 dozen eggs off the chunkins. They're doing good. They're healthy. They all love to eat black soldier fly larvae. We've got them on egg layer feed now, so we're giving them all the right nutrition to be able to lay, to be the most productive egg layers possible. Their eggs are getting larger. We think we have a triple yolker, one egg with what we think has 3 yolks in it. And it's like larger than, it's like bigger than a large egg. It's huge, super huge. It's like Nemesis became a egg farmer. Oh man, I got potato, man. I have a lot of potatoes. I got potatoes that are like almost the size of my head, dude. Just saying, man. They're huge, huge potatoes, man. I did good. I turned into a good farmer, bro. I don't just mine. I know how to farm. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for everybody smashing that Lizzie like button, subscribing, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Like, can you mine chicken eggs? No. An idea, make a farmer's market. We have a farmer's market out here. I'm trying to learn how to do all the things that I need to do, and then if we have a surplus of food that I can't can and store long term, if I've got a surplus after that, then we can go to a farmer's market with the extra stuff and make a little extra money on the side. We are going to be setting up some microgreens. So there'll be some videos coming out here soon. Either it'll be put on here or it'll be on RN Homesteading. And that channel does exist, so it's just, you know, I just have to put content out on there, and I've been working a bazillion hours, and yeah. So I'm trying to get to where I'm able to put all the content out, get all this awesomeness to you guys. So with that being said, guys, thank you for everybody for being here. You guys are rated at full freaking awesome, yo. And with that being said, peace out. Stay savage. May your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one.